We have a state governed by a sect who use all kinds of tactics to get their way, to reduce voter turnout, etc., so that they can control your lives. They can make sure that only the few gets the necessary services from the state, and I'll explain. We started with this discussion on the local Harris County Appraisal District race. It's important to understand what's being done here by your government. Think about this. We just got a tax break, folks. The last session in Congress, did you see what happened to your property tax rate? It went down a little bit. If you had a big house, the bigger your house, the more you saved. The bigger the house, the more you saved. So it looked like a tax cut. It was a great thing. But for most of the average Texan, they save a little bit of money. But the cost, what it cost the Texans for that little bit of property tax saving was a lot to our school districts, a lot to these other places. But the wealthy who own the mega mansions got a humongous property tax cut. They always use the middle class and the poor and the working class to further enrich the few. I'm going to tell a little story. And I don't remember which constitutional amendment it was. But all of us Texans had the opportunity to vote people into office who could take back some of the monies that were taken from all of us by a select few. There are folks who have built their wealth on the free money given by our state, whether it is those who got free monies to build toll roads, whether those who are pulling out the oil out of our grounds, the minerals out of our public lands that they get to use free of charge, right? So there is this thing called tax, a small tax on wealth that we could debate, we could talk about. There's a lot we could do to figure out how best to give the services needed by our state, by our country. So one of the things that would have made sense is that the wealthy don't make income because of the way we've defined income. The wealthy tries to make as little income as possible. They try to make all their wealth in different forms, whether it is stock appreciation, whether it is using insurance to borrow from so that they pay no taxes. Yeah, that's a thing, man. You have a lot of money, you buy an insurance policy and you borrow from that insurance policy, you got money tax free, baby. Most of us don't know of all these techniques used by the wealthy so that their wealth is really their income, but because it's not defined as income, it is not taxed. So an amendment came out. People are getting smart. And your government in Austin, your government in Washington, they know that people are getting smart and they're going to find out, hey, why is it that I have a home and I pay property taxes on the home? A home is an asset no different than a stock. You made an investment in your home with the expectation that it would appreciate. But you know what? Check out what's happening to some homes right now. They also can fall in value. So your car is an investment in an asset. Your home is an investment in an asset. There are a lot of things that you pay property taxes on right now. That's an asset, just like a stock is an asset. But we have done some magical things to keep the wealthy wealthy. And what do? We say, the stock, we only pay taxes on it if you sell it and it increased in value from what you sold. And then even then, we charge you a smaller tax rate than the guy who works their hands, the guy who works a factory, the guys who get an income. But even worse, while the average economy grows at, let's say, 2 to 3%, the stock market grows at 7%. This is an unsustainable formula. And you know how we know it? because you are worth less and less in the aggregate every single year. Every single year. Every single year, the wealth disparity grows. And we Texans just voted to say we are not going to allow the legislature to pass any laws that will somehow possibly tax wealth. I want you guys to think about that, folks. But most people didn't know what they were voting for, because if you read the rule, you think it applied to you and you don't really want to be taxed anymore. So what we did is we made a constitution. We supported a constitutional amendment in Texas that said we won't tax wealth. But you know what we did not say? We can still tax your property. We can still tax your home. We can still tax your car, because all of us own homes, or a lot of us own homes. A lot of us own cars. So we'll pay a property tax on that home or that car every single year. But you got stocks. As long as you hold on to those stocks, no problem, no taxes. And if you need money, just go ahead and have those stocks held by an insurance company, and that insurance company would loan you some money backed by your stock, and you pay no taxes, baby. Folks, the reason why we tolerate what we tolerate is because very few know all these concepts. Now, we talk about HCAT. Our county clerk, Harris County Clerk, Tanisha Hudspeth, she's doing the best she can to tell folks to vote. Why do you better vote in HCAT? Because the next thing that they're going to do is they're going to make you believe that, we're going to start passing different kinds of laws with regards to property taxes. Watch them reduce property taxes. Watch them put a cap on property taxes, likely after a property reaches a certain value. Maybe we pay. They can do as they please if they have your mind. And if you are not engaged locally in your elections, if you're not engaged to understand what's going on, then you pay like we always pay. That is why, as Tanisha said, as Ms. Hudspeth said, these elections are so important, because it starts at local control and it moves up to state control. Then it moves on to federal control. And if we keep believing the crap that we hear about taxes and all these other issues, we will constantly be left at a disadvantage.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.